Good evening, folks. Hope everyone is well. A little late notice here on the old Hulbert House show, but luckily the territory is hot enough that we just run a show sometimes. We don't have to do a month's promotion. We don't have to paper the house. We just say we're doing it. So here we are. We got about probably going to hang out for an hour before Dynamite review. Myself, Chuck, and AO tonight talking about last night's Dynamite, which was an interesting show. I use the word interesting more and more at this point in my life. It's the polite approach, I think, to like more extreme alternatives. But there was some good stuff on last night's show, some really good stuff actually. So we have a lot to talk about tonight. But I'm going to hang out here for an hour or so, answer questions, talk graps, whatever it is that the loyal Hulbert House show attendees want to. I haven't got a good name for you all yet. The loyal Hulbert House show attendees want to talk about is what we'll be discussing. It's those of you that follow me on the Twitter, which I assume is most of you. I'm in awe of what I just watched. I tweeted a couple clips, but the World Wrestling Federation posted a video that was titled, this is a funny title in itself. It was titled How AJ Styles Got in the Shape of His Life, which, I mean, you're kind of setting people up there. But within this video is some of the most extraordinary professional wrestling content I've seen in some time. If wrestling TV was just this shit, I gotta say, folks, it would be a much better sport. Elliot brings it up here at one juncture. AJ is standing on a basketball court that has the P1 logo. And he is skipping violently, like he's doing a Rocky montage. Now, another juncture, he's in the sauna, and he begins to cut a promo about how he's running out of time, and this is a chance to prove the doubters wrong, defeat the folks that are saying he's over the hill. I mean, there's nothing more pro wrestling than a 46-year-old throwaway title contender convincing you that this is the biggest match of his life. Ain't that what we actually watch for, guys? Seriously. I know I'm just talking to myself here, as usual. I'm not even answering any questions. I'm just talking graps here. But ain't that what this is? Like selling me, convincing me, making me think something magical could happen, even though I know it's not going to happen, What a time to be alive. Anyway, let's catch up on the chat. As I said earlier, I hope everyone is well. Good times here at Hulbert HQ. All right. Beautiful ringside seats, man. Got in nice and early. I like it. Hopefully the view is good. I don't know how good it can be considering that the Hulbert House show is just me on a screen, but still good seats. Grant's going to be sleeping. But he says, what is the worst match ever between two wrestlers you loved? AJ KO series could be for me. That wasn't terrible by any means, just very disappointing. Yeah, those ones were disappointing. AJ has a couple, right? Like, I was there for the Shinsuke match, so I have to say that one. I never was as big a Shinsuke fan after that feud was done. Not to say I blamed him for it. It's just, it was the thing I was most looking forward to when I got on the plane. So, AJ and Shin, which there was a range of issues with that match that one day I'll get into, but I'm in a good mood, so I'll leave it. Wrestlers I love having shitty matches. This is not like an extreme one because it's just a mid-card match, but it was his in-ring debut, and I think a lot of both guys. Andrade versus Matt Sydal was strange, dude. Weird match. That one comes to mind for sure. I don't think there was any others. People that I like. There's no doubt Joe matches that I'm just not. Because Joe had a lot of WWE matches that weren't quite what you'd hope they'd be. But there's a few that come to mind, mate. I hope you're having a good sleep if you are indeed sleeping by now. Yes, this is true. The 5-match cards are unfortunate. Just 6 or 7 would be perfect to me, The mid-card pay-per-view match is a lost art, honestly. All is well, Michael. Yep, going okay, mate. Doing pretty good. I am. kind of flying by the seat of my pants, because there's so much going on. Like, and it is a lot of it's new to me in terms of a lot of different stuff. I'll leave it there, but I'm enjoying it for the most part. So yeah, I'm doing good. I hope you're well. God bless. Good stuff. Doing good. Yeet, I guess so. Joe, I've been watching some comfort graps recently, WCW Nitro, and continue to be amazed at how good of a pro wrestler Kevin Green was. I wish we had a current NFL, jump into the ring like that. Dude, his energy was crazy. Wild, rabid babyface out there. It was wild. The WCW with the pro athletes thing was always wild. We have another yeet. My God. I'm worried about Swerve losing his edge as a pure babyface. What can they do to help him keep his cool factor? Great question. Great question. And a worthwhile concern, I think. Obviously, early days. But yeah, I think it's a really important thing, actually, they can't get wrong. I'm not sure. The authority thing is an interesting challenge in that the elite are heels. So being opposite them is, right and correct. But I would probably avoid making him too Team AEW, to be honest with you. And I know some people feel the opposite way, and that's totally fine. We can agree to disagree on this. I just think he should be. I don't think he should really give a fuck about what happened to Tony Khan. Maybe I'm wrong, but to me, as a babyface, he should be total like the only thing he cares about is, being the world's champion and kicking ass. I think that's important. I think him doing the kind of welcome to the show promos is not saying I would do for long. Look, he just won the world title. He was due a couple of them because he's the new face of the company. But that's one thing I would say. I think as a performer, he's still figuring out what it looks like to be this character as a babyface. It takes time, no rush, but it's an important thing for sure. You don't want to lose the thing that they like about him, So, yeah, we shall see. It'll be interesting. Swerve Christian and Elite Omega business was fantastic. I agree. Copeland Buddy was egregious and very unserious. Yeah, bad match, man. It's a shame. Obviously I think a lot of Bud Matt, and I've enjoyed Copeland's run. I just think they totally got the wrong end of the stick with that one. I think they wrestled a match expecting a very different crowd, and I just didn't think the psychology of the match made sense. I mean, I appreciate they had like an idea, and I think the double crossbody thing is like a cool idea in a vacuum. I don't think it made sense for this match. I don't think it makes sense for those two guys, let alone the heel. And also, Buddy has gone to that well with the injuries a lot. So, yeah, it just didn't come together at all. I thought it was a pretty bad wrestling match, unfortunately. I don't even know if I think it was bad. It was so weird, It felt like it honestly felt like they could have like sleepwalked to just a better match than that over 12 minutes. Like it was so unnecessary. Weird choice. Any beer money matches on the Rude Grin Grappler? Yes, the beer money match is the Motor City Machine Guns 2 out of 3 Falls match. That will be Act 2 alongside the James Storm Bloodbath from Bound for Glory 2012. So that will be Act 2 of the Bob Roode Grin Grappler. Actual Joel Hugh many have said. I think the Elite overall had a good follow-up from last week. The Kenny segment is an all-time for AEW. Kenny's presentation there was extraordinary. Great promo. Great promo. Joe, are you excited about AJ vs. Code? Very. I'm aware you asked that before I did my whole rant, but yes, very, very excited. What guys do we need to get more TV time in AEW? Honestly, man, I know this is a cop-out, but to me, it isn't so much about like what guys and picking what guys. I just think we need more like true committed pushes, The reality is, if I said so, it's apparently 200 of you watching. I'm sure many are on Twitter, but however many on YouTube, whatever. If I said to all of you, write down 10 wrestlers you want to get a push on AEW, we're probably going to, have 100 names come up. That's fine. But I just think as a promotion, they need to do a better job of committing to a guy. Last night, there was a promo posted on Twitter, and it was Isaiah Cassidy. And I'm going to use this as a talking point. Folks, I'm probably going to miss a lot of questions tonight because I only have an hour and I'm going to be talking shit, as you can tell. So Isaiah did this promo, and it was very much, a mutual of mine noted it, but it was very much in the mold of the Daniel Garcia promos following kind of Continental Classic losses and the MJF loss. The kind of down on his luck athlete who's trying to figure out where he stands at this point in his career. And he's cutting this promo and he's being real and he's talking about kind of how long they've been there and how many times they've, took half a step forward and then gone backwards again. And as I was watching it, I realized I honestly think this is the first time I'd ever seen Isaiah Cassidy cut like a kind of gritty, scrappy pro wrestling promo. I don't say that as a criticism of Isaiah. I don't say that as a knock against him. What I mean by that is he has been on the TV show. And in his case, injuries have been a huge factor. Don't get me wrong, folks. But he's been there since day one. And I think there is something to be said for giving these guys the tools to really climb. Now, this is one example. I'm using Private Party again. There's been 101 injury issues, and they've struggled to get rhythm. So this is not, the perfect example. I'm just using it as a talking point. But a lot of guys, I feel like they get stuck in a role, and they can't get out of it. And so to me, the big thing is not who gets pushed, it's that people get pushed. Real pushes, picking guys and saying, we're going to elevate this guy. They're going to actually go from this tier to the next. They're going to break out of guy who loses TV matches in good efforts. So that's the big thing to me more than anything else. I hope that made some sense. It really struck me when I watched that promo last night. I'm dreading this next game. Yes, dreading it. Absolutely dreading it. Okay. I'm now catching up to where I was when I started scrolling. Chuck is in the building. Shout out Chuck. We'll be doing a show together in an hour over on WrestlePurists. Speaking of YouTube, wasn't speaking about that at all, but you should give us a thumbs up here. That would be very helpful. Subscribe to the Hulbert House Show. Also, if you watch this, check out the Late Night Grin. I think we're at 970 something, maybe 980 subscribers. We're so close to 1,000, folks. It would pop me tremendously if you could go over there and subscribe to, if you haven't already, of course. All right. I don't believe in the Sixers, unfortunately. Joe, what do you think of the Raw roster? It has a lot of really good in-ring talents. A lot of good talents. I don't know if it will be used a ton or if the crowds will definitely will necessarily like some of the matches that they try to put together, but I think it will be for the benefit of the show. I think there's going to be some really good action on Raw. SmackDown will be fine because there's about 40 minutes of space on SmackDown when you take out the ads. So they'll be fine. They have star power with, even just like Kevin and Randy and Cody and AJ and the Bloodline stuff. They'll be fine. Jade, Bianca. So I think they're pretty much in the same spot they are. Raw just got more juice from a work rate point of view. If you're Drake's team, you tell him to reply. I think he kind of has to. I don't think you can just bow out. But at the same time, it's a little bit of an ominous situation to be in. I don't know how much further but then again, I'm a pussy. So, I'm not really the person to ask. Very spooky. Cody AJ going 35 minutes. They might do. There's like 4 matches on the show. 5 matches, I should say, on the show. Great comparison. Yeah, the Edge Twitter promo for the new world title. Good call. Been binging Terry Gordy, and there's a hell of an AWA title match with Rick Martel. My God, that sounds fucking awesome. God bless, man. It was really fun to do the Green Grappler show about Terry this past Tuesday. Very, very fun. This is a good example of a match between great grapplers being unfortunate. Brett and Sting. A lot of Brett's WCW stuff, honestly, fits that bill. Hello, JJ. I hope you are well. Dave's on a legendary 2. Dave is 1 of 1, brother. 1 of 1. I predict Dave gives AJ and Cody 3 of 3 quarters regardless of who's better or worse. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I consider you all. Well, that's a lie. I was gonna say I consider you all friends. That'd be dramatic. I don't know who's in this chat. Could be famed enemies of mine. But I consider this show to be a place I could be honest. I'll be real with you all. If AJ Cody kind of sucks, Not good for where I'm currently at as a professional wrestling fan. Not good at all. I'm gonna be real with you. Currently, I'm at a point in my fandom. I would like to enjoy this match a lot tomorrow night. Tomorrow, Saturday, whenever it is. It's been a long week, but yeah, kind of need it to be good. If it's 3 3/4 and it's my kind of shit, then that'll be fine. But if it's 3 3/4 and it's full solid pros, we'll see. See how worldwide looks. Jim vs. Joe was pretty bad. Yeah, it was. It was. Bless old Jim. God loves a trial. That Roosh vignette on Rampage was awesome. Yes, it was. He should challenge Samoa Joe. That would be something else, wouldn't it? My goodness. My excitement for Cody's reign kind of went down after the draft. He has AJ KO, who might be moved in 2024. Randy, unfortunate. Yeah, I think the Randy thing could be good because there's history there. I definitely get that you might not be rushing to see him in main event matches because he's kind of playing the hits at the minute. I get it. I think there's a lot of my God, my mentions are fucked. I just realized. Hold up. Oh my goodness. People are very fired up. All right. I think there's definitely some work to do in shooting angles. I think they'll be able to get away with this. Crowd's going to be so hot on Saturday that I think AJ and Cody just having like a sports build will be fine. But, you know, after this, these title programs are going to have a lot more juice than this. So I get your point. We'll see how they do. Bianca J versus Kabuki is going to be about 7 minutes. So it's really 4 matches. We'll see. They might stretch it out. Hello, Drex. Hopefully, I'm popping you while you're at work. Bludgeon Brothers were incredible. They were. They were honestly, more awesome before they were called the Bludgeon Brothers, when they were just, when they're in the Wyatt family, because their work was more chaotic. But yeah, I mean, they were a hell of a team, dude. The Usos matches are like some of my favorite 2010s WWE matches. Hey Joe, is the Backlash card even more proof that Roman Reigns is the big dog of the World Wrestling Federation? I don't think you can have more proof at this point, but yes. We've maxed out, yeah. Okay. I think Tiffany, Bailey, Naomi has a ton of potential. We'll see. I think that'll probably rock the house. I'm not a big triple threat guy, so it'll have a ceiling for me. But yeah, I think it'll go over huge in the building. Certainly. What's going on at Spurs? They fucking suck. Should Romero consider a transition to wrestling? Maybe. I think he'd be a hell of a worker, to be honest with you. Great aggression, Andrew is right, folks. Late Night Green is 20 subscribers away from 1,000. This is very significant. It's only taken us about 800 videos. So if you're watching this and you're not subscribed to Late Night Green, go over and help us out and get us a little closer to that magic number. It's been a hell of a grind. Yeah, I think Christian's the perfect opponent for the Swerve thing. And I think to that the question earlier about Swerve keeping his edge, I think Christian's going to be of great assistance in that regard. I really do. So, yeah. Absolutely. More 5 match talk. Who would be your participants in a 6-on-6 Elite versus AEW Anarchy in the Arena? 6-on-6? Who are the 6? Hangman? I don't know. If it's 4, then I think it should be the FTR, the Ed King, and even Mark or Dan, I'd imagine. But I don't know who the 6 would be, unless I'm forgetting people, unless Shad Khan is on the team. I could be forgetting something obvious, so I apologize. I think I like all 5 matches. TV should build its pay-per-view conclusions, but it feels like TV and pay-per-view are not really marrying up. Triple H's pay-per-views are the most disappointing thing about his booking. I think it's because he likes to have a bunch of content saved for TV because he has hours to fill, to be honest, which probably does make sense. But yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. I think, again, just 6 or 7 even, would be a vast improvement, right? I know a lot of us talk about how the rankings shouldn't exist, but why have your EVPs bury them and throw it out for a pay-per-view title match? It was such a big deal bringing them back. I got to be honest, and maybe I'm wrong, folks, but I don't think a ton of thought was put into the the rankings thing. I think that was very much a short term. Let's excite people. So your point is fair and apt, but yeah, I think that was very much a kind of just rash. Oh fuck it, bring rankings back. I don't think I'm talking out of turn to suggest that, right? Based on the evidence in front of us. So are we turning the gates of agony babyface? I mean, sure. Sure. I want to just see the Gates of Agony on TV more, man. They're awesome. I mean, super rough around the edges and raw. But that's the appeal, right? That's the charm of those guys. So they're a hoot. Absolutely a hoot. AJ in the IC division. He'd have killer matches with those guys. Yeah, he should definitely wrestle. He isn't in this division yet, but I would definitely like to see him wrestle Dragunov at some point before he calls it a day. Hangman will join the Elite to win the belt of Swerve at Wembley. Probably. If he doesn't join the Elite, I still think he'll probably win the. I still think he'll win the belt. They're teasing Mercedes joining the Elite. The CEO. This is a question, to be clear. The CEO gimmick in the first promo kind of fits. And for last night, the Bucks making changes with Willow's match makes you think, I hadn't considered that. It could be cool. You have to be careful with the Elite thing, in that, like, if you go too heel heavy with the show, I think it could be a detriment. I don't think that's what they need right now, to be honest. But I mean, that in itself could be a cool idea, definitely. Yes, I agree. I'm with you on that. Keeping the IC division again, quote unquote, kind of as it is intact, and continuing the build for Sammy and Gable. That's a good call. Copa's death going spooky again in the next few weeks. Well, I warned everyone. I said there was a a forecast up about spooky Cope being an issue potentially. So you get what you get, folks. Kenny's best promo in AEW. I think so. Yeah. I don't remember the catalog like perfectly, but yeah, I would say so. Remember Daniel Garcia? Yeah, well, we'll see. Hopefully, he's involved in this big angle. Hopefully so. He got himself really in rhythm again there in that Road to Revolution. I hope that they have something up their sleeve. I'm not going to pretend I'm super optimistic, but I'm hopeful nonetheless. Did you see the Lola Vice Natalia Underground match? I liked it, but Natalia's performance infuriated me. Her stupid faces, over exaggerating strikes, and a dreadful attempt at the Brett corner figure four. I did see it, and I thought it was fun, but it is very. And I understand Natty's part of this is part of what I'm about to describe. It is very theatrical and like it's a very WWE take on that particular match, right? Like the way that they promoted it underground and it was going to be like a kind of shoot like Lion's Den thing. It was that was there and they went for it. So I thought it was fun, but it was like aggressively WWE and more specifically NXT, which is like the most glossy wrestling. NXT is fucking insane, dude. I mean, seriously, it's a crazy show. The Gigi Dolan segment on that show was like unhinged. But, you know, I mean, it's got its own vibe. People fuck with it, so God bless. Well, I saw the show. The wrestling matches are pretty good. I think I only missed the AOP match. I think Bucks versus Shibata and DG at Double or Nothing. I think the Bucks are going to be doing Anarchy at Double or Nothing, but that would be cool, definitely. AEW's biggest problem is hierarchy. What do the other singles belts mean besides not being the world title? No divisions, no difference in match quality or length, just guys wrestling. Co-sign completely. Hierarchy is a huge thing. It's something we talked about on Tuesday's Green Grappler in regards to, you know, the way that like a gaijin like Gordy was used. It's huge, man. You want to like this gives you a chance to kind of really understand where your favorite wrestlers are on the card and watching them climb. You lose that when it's just like a sea of people that are all at the same level. So yeah, I agree. That's been an issue I think for a while. Do you remember when people legit thought Buddy was comparable to Omega? I mean, yeah, but like, you know, people say a lot of stuff, dude. All of this stuff is rooted in like what companies the guys wrestle for. So you kind of just have to. It is what it is, you know. It's 99% of it online now. It's just like where the guy wrestles. So you get what you get, I suppose. I found myself more and more desensitized to plunder matches. I feel like they're too common. Um, yeah, it's not really my style anyway, so it's not something that I'd say I'm desensitized to, but I definitely get what you mean. And I also think there are times they do it in matches that just don't need it at all, right? There was like a Brian Cage match recently that had like tax. I remember just being amazed that was where they did. So, yeah, I get your point, definitely. I don't know about the match, but Randy in front of the French crowd has unreal potential. Yeah, he'll be over. Like, he'll be a god, bro. He'll be crazy. See the Sammy KO video? I did not. No. Sounds cool, though. He's telling you folks, the subscriptions to the late night grin. You got to listen to Meech. He's the veteran. Appreciate this. Hi, Joe. How are you? I'm good, Anthony. How are you? I was wondering what elements of MMA could pro wrestling use and vice versa. Simplified kind of, fight build in terms of the sports packages. And I think that stuff's always valuable. Other than that, I wouldn't get too hung up on it. I definitely think there's a world in which you can overly try to marry them. I think Cornette's Ring of Honor was proof of that, right? He lost his fucking mind with that stuff. Well, he lost his mind in many other ways. What I mean is his booking went insane because he watched a UFC show once. So yeah, I think you have to understand that wrestling's its own thing. You have to appreciate the quirks that it has. But I definitely think you can always pull from like, those kind of countdown shows they do. I think you can always use some of that stuff at your disposal. The face-offs, the kind of those elements are there for sure. So that's the main thing. In the ring, you can borrow a lot, but it has to be. I personally think it has to be like a promotion-wide style. Like I think it has to be a thing of like we are going to wrestle in this, in the shoot style, and we're going to have that kind of be our thing. I think if you just have one guy doing that, it can be kind of weird. Like it reminds me of Lockdown '08, the famed Kurt Angle Samoa Joe match where Joe wins the belt, and it's like I like that match. I always thought though it was a strange fit on. It was a strange fit in that none of the rest of the show, matched it. And it's almost like the boys were saying in kayfabe, we're gonna fight like it's a real fight this time. I ain't gonna do any of that fake wrestling shit. And to me, that kind of breaks the universe you're building. So it's a very challenging thing, a very delicate thing. A lot of wrestling people went crazy with it 15 years ago. It seems to have died off a lot since then. If Ospreay beats Roddy at Double or Nothing, who's going to be the first person to beat him? Genuinely have no clue if he's not main event in Wembley. I think Takeshita will get a win on him. And then he'll beat Takeshita in the rubber match, I think. I have no idea he's wrestling at Wembley either, though. Big John popping up Saturday, I'm hearing. John Fury or Cena? Big difference. I could see them doing a story on the show to put Sammy vs. Gable and unfortunately Bronson on Backlash. That'd be fun. If who's in the chat, pop myself huge with the tweet in which I suggested that Ibu saying that AJ was washed is what inspired his current, comeback. So AJLA got 3 3/4 from SmackDown. That is fucking awesome. Okay. You know who's a good rapper and wrestler? Kendrick Lamar and Christian Cage. True. Fair take. Sleeper Bob Roode match for next Green Grappler. We're going to do, so I can actually kind of run this lineup down. I don't think any of them are sleeper matches. The Sleeper Bob Roode match, I'm going to be doing a review for soon. I'm going to be writing the script in a couple of days. Is Roddy and Bobby Roode from NXT TV 2017. It's from July. It is terrific. Great, great match. It's totally forgotten because it's a TV match. So I recommend that as a sleeper one. But the lineup currently is Team Canada versus AMW, which is that's Rude and Eric Young. I think we're doing Jarrett and Rude from a 2007 pay per view. Act 2, as I mentioned, is the Motor City Machine Guns versus Beer Money, as well as Storm Rude Bloodbath. And Act 3 is the Hideo Itami match. And, of course, Gable and Rude versus the Revival. So that's what's ahead of us in the world of Grin Grappler, which you can see at Late Night Grin, where you should subscribe. All right. Subscribe here too, by the way. I should know. That's important, I think, too. No. All right. I think we'll do Hanging with Hulbert soon. We're just both we're both getting old, you know. People and I, we don't really talk about wrestling anymore. We just talk about the game. It is what it is. Talk about the bumps we've taken. It's tough. Rewatch Cody versus Dustin. My God, the crowd, the emotion, the promo at the end. The entrance is a perfect match. Unbelievable wrestling match, dude. Just extraordinary. A masterpiece, genuinely. Bruce will try to summon the spirit of early Ring of Honor Loki if he fought Joe. The pace of that match would be interesting. I'd be intrigued if Roosh would really try and push it, you know, or if it would just be kind of clobbering. I'm intrigued. Bad news. WBD has turned down the opportunity to air Freddie Prinze Jr. promotions. Very unfortunate. I assume that's a bit, but if not, that's catastrophic for the game we love. That is, man. I mean, that was the last hope, right? Big Fred Prince coming in, building a promotion around Blake Christian or whoever, what he was going to do. What would you have open Backlash? Open Backlash. So I think, Max, you got 2 tags, a triple threat. There's another match that I'm forgetting. It would be helpful if I did not. Oh, Jay and Dame. I would probably open with Jay and Damian Priest, to be honest with you, man. They're going to need him, I think. I mean, Jay's so over that they should be fine. I don't think they'll have a bad match, but, you know, to give it extra juice, I'd have them open. Then again, you have 3 multi-person matches. Maybe not. I would probably go. I would go Kabuki's tag, Jay and Dame Priest. This is very challenging putting this match card together because it's a weird card. I think the Tama Tonga match should go on second to last because Randy Orton is going to be over like hell, and those lads are probably not going to fall down very much. They can have a match that's very calm, you know, and keep the people engaged. So maybe you open with a triple threat upon fall. Maybe you go triple threat, Dame Priest there, or the women's tag there, Dame Priest third, and then the tag, Bloodline tag main event. Maybe something like that. Joe Hulbert, do you have faith in any young future world champions in either company? Sure. I don't know, man. Describe young, right? Like how many young guys are even around? I think there's some great talent. I think Bron Breakker's fucking awesome. I think that obviously we talked about DG a moment ago. Max, for all of the chaos of his title reign, has proven. I think his ability level. I'm trying to think of other young wrestlers. The women's divisions have a lot more youth, right? So there's definitely some young guns in the women's divisions that can carry the ball. But in terms of the men, there's a few out there, I guess. Christian Romero versus Nakajima. God bless. Agreed. Very pumped for the Christian business. I agree completely. Speaking of young wrestlers, Christian Cage, killing it. This is 6-on-6. I think Darby has to be there. So he's so pro AEW. I think the Elite adds Cage and Hanger. Okay, so if indeed that's what they did, then the baby faces would be FTR, Eddie, Garcia, Mark, Darby would probably what I would do. If Swerve's in there, then take DG out, I guess. or Mark for that matter. Blood and Guts will probably be Edge and Christian, FTR, Daniel Garcia versus Bucks, Okada, Perry, and Hangman. My God. Braun Strowman does rule, true. Is AJ going to kill Cody? That's what it feels like. Cody has no chance, dude. Like, he ain't seeing the final bell. Whatever that means for professional wrestling. He ain't seeing it. He's there's levels to the game at the end of the day, and like I understand that he was finishing his story and all that good stuff, but he don't want none. He don't care if the theme's changed. He still don't want none. Chuck has notes for tonight's program, folks. We are live in just over half an hour, and Charlie of Great Britain has notes. Lock in. Yes, the Kenny promo. Very, very good. All right. I'm about 10 minutes behind. I've got about 20 minutes to play with, just over. So if I go quicker, I apologize if I miss anything, folks. I was at Raw this week, and Braun got one of the biggest pops of the night. People love Braun, man. He's one of those fascinating examples of like how kind of weird the industry is right now. Like he felt like he had no place after leaving, which I think was kind of naive on some of the territory's part. But he felt like he had no spot, and as soon as he goes back, he's immediately as over as he was. You know, so it's a weird landscape. I hope when Spooky Cope shows up, the Titantron says "Brood Adam Copeland." Jay Yeatman asked for a trade. AJ Raw, another Hooper in the IC division. They need some good wrestlers on SmackDown, brother. Remember, I bleed blue too, so it's a well-known thing. I'm a SmackDown guy, folks. Let's take it easy. Gotta have them a couple wrestlers that I like, okay? Why do you think they never pulled the trigger on Garcia? It feels like they only give him these random pushes to give both him and his fans hope for the future. I don't know. I think maybe he's a victim of his own youth, in that I think a lot of people approach him in the way of like, "Oh, he's fine, he's 25 years old or whatever." You know, I think that's probably part of it. I don't mean that in a sinister way. What I mean is that guys around him and the people with the power to make things happen probably just feel like his day will come. That could probably be frustrating, I'd imagine, if you're the guy in question, but I'd imagine that's what it is. Yeah, and I'm sure, like, it's like anything, beauty in the eye of the beholder. I'm sure if there's 10 people that have a say in these things, 6 of them may think he rules and 4 of them may think he's fine where he's at. There's always going to be a kind of divide. I think he's great. Obviously, I'm not breaking the news there, but we'll see what happens. He's got a lot of time ahead of him, so hopefully it all works out. Hopefully so. Yeah, man, the Good Brothers, that match on Tuesday was something else. Like, those young fellas were just dynamite athletically. I mean, they could do some crazy shit, but they were so amped to be on TV. I mean, the Good Brothers had to like really, I think, take his word, corral. Like, they had to really rein them in. It was like a 2-minute match, and it was just interesting to watch. I think that's a really good role for the Good Brothers. They seem like they're in a much better place. I know the Machine Gun, the Talking Shop reboot, has talked about how he is. I don't want to tell his story, it's his thing, but he said on the podcast that he's now sober. So shout out to the Machine Gun. Seems to be in a much better place than a couple of years ago. I think it's fair to say. I'm talking out of turn to say that. It was an interesting time for the famed Good Brothers. I know Gallows just had a kid, right? I believe so. Shout out to the Good Brothers. Player coaches in NXT, hilarious spot for them. They seem to be enjoying it. So, all right. A question I'm seeing posed on Twitter: what was Ring of Honor's best year? In my opinion, is 2005. Yeah, 2005. I'm pretty sure is the right answer, because it's the middle ground between growing up and finding who they are before they like completely lost themselves in that kind of, how do I put this? There was a point in the late 2000s where it felt like they were trying to top themselves. I would say it's either 05 or 07. I would say is their best year. I think when you get beyond that, I think it starts going in circles a little bit, to be totally honest. But that's just me. I'm sure there's a There's a million and one takes on that. You know, Nigel's reign is always like a point of contention for people, and which is kind of lost historically. It always fascinates me. Like, no one really remembers how polarizing that was, you know? Anyway, where were we here? Plunder match talk. Yes, I agree. He's naturally FTR's power, so I think Garcia will be involved too. Have you seen the clip of Greg Gagne talking about coaching Jimmy Strand? Brother, if the question is, have you seen the Greg Gagne clip? The answer is probably yes, unfortunately. So, yes, I have. How do you think they include Camille into the AEW TV? I think her best role is being an enforcer. Probably someone's backup at first, right? And then you can kind of ease her into TV wrestling. You know, she'll get some in-action graphics for Rampage. You put her in there with a good worker on a Dynamite Collision. Like, I think that's what they'll do to start, because while she's not a rookie, she hasn't done a lot of, like, you know, top-level professional wrestling. Not her fault. This is the way it's worked out. So I think she'll be someone's heavy, yeah. I'm doing pretty good. Hipster Warriors says, I'm feeling pretty down right now. Do you have a go-to match to watch Phoenix Pro in your mood? Oh, yes. Absolutely. Well, first things first, I hope you are, feeling better soon and things turn around. I have many, honestly. I have shows, I have matches. My go-to comfort just time, as I've talked about before, is early 90s WCW, because it's so fucking dumb, but it's like steady, you know? I find it to be very relaxing, hilariously, watching shitty squash matches. So, like Beach Blast 92, I probably watched 10 times. There's a lot of Clash of Champions that fit the same bill. In recent times, there's been a couple collision matches that have become comfort matches of mine. The first main event, the premiere, which is at least 10 minutes too long, but I just think is like one of those, a genuine moment in time situation that was like a really weird adventure. That I was very lucky to sit a particular seat on that ride, and I remember that vividly. If I stopped doing this stuff tomorrow, like, I would remember the collision thing very uniquely for a range of reasons, and I'll leave that there. So the first collision main event, and then the next one I would say as a collision match. I think this match is like just wonderful. I recommend it to people that have forgotten it. Christian, fucking Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne versus DGFTR. If you're listening to me and you think, what is Joe talking about? Go back and rewatch that. But that match is tremendous, dude. I've watched that match maybe 4 or 5 times. It's fucking awesome. Nick has to say it's the best performance of his career would be a hilarious understatement. He looks incredible in this match. Christian conducting from the apron. It's awesome. So there's a couple for you. I hope you're feeling better. Everyone's comfort match will be different. But we are insane people that turn to wrestling in time of need. So I wish you well, and hopefully you find some grabs that'll pop you. I think we're getting Sheamus Drew in the King of the Ring final. I don't know though. Gunther, right? I think Gunther's winning that thing. I think Gunther. WWE has a problem with the work rate guys and wrestling dull and entertaining people who fans aren't. Yeah, it's just him who's he's not exactly a bell to bell savant, unfortunately. But yeah, I get your point. Pac versus Ospreay at Wembley, that'd be cool. Cena is in France, apparently. Okay. Got ya. Tips on getting into AJ Styles shape. Thoughts and prayers. That's all you can do. Any Dirty Dogs underrated matches? Their stuff with Ray is really good. I want to say they have one with like Ali and like a makeshift team. They were a really good team. They just didn't have a lot of chances to have really good matches, sadly. Owned. What are your 5 favorite Cody matches? Big Rome. Okay, number 1, Dustin. Number 2, Big Rome 1. Number 3, Seth Freakin, The Backlash. Number 4, Trying to think of other AEW matches. The dog collar match was sick, right? The Eddie Kingston match was great. The second Roman match, the first Seth Freakin match. I always struggle with the Hell in a Cell match. I can never quite get past the look of it. But I understand it's like a moment, I get it. Trying to think if there's any others that just jump out to me. Those are the first ones that really come to mind. Dustin's still definitely the one seed, though. I'm pretty sure of that. Okay. Gotta go watch. Respect. KO is the only man bumping that tag match. Tama may work hard because it's his first big match, but yeah. It ain't going to be an electric pace in that one. They're going to be doing a lot of crowd, but it's a very house show. This is true. Hulbert house shows pace very similar to Coke matches. Very, very much. I think Big Jacob is debuting on Saturday. I mean, creatively that would make sense, but like, how do I put this? I don't know if he can go to France. Hopefully he can. I'd love to see him, but not sure. Not sure he can make that town. We'll see. Who, if any, are vetoed off the potential Green Grappler list? Benoit. It's very difficult because like there are absolute pieces of shit that I'm not rushing to do, but the problem is like we've definitely covered pieces of shit already. Like it's inevitable because wrestlers are just generally trashy. Unfortunately, I wish that wasn't the case, folks. I promise, but sadly it's kind of the way it is. Obviously not all. Obviously, generally they are folks who make bad decisions and do very, very dumb things at best. Dumb is the best, best version of it. Some do much worse, clearly. I don't think we're ever going to do a Flair episode because, quite frankly, he's come up so many times on the show in other people's matches. Obviously the main point of that is he's a piece of shit, but also what's to be gained from relitigating, what's to be gained from separating art from artists with Ric Flair in 2024, right? Like he's gonna get his own fucking movie. He's had 8 documentaries that have glorified everything he did. Like, just as a wrestler, I think Ric Flair is one of the greatest ever, and I love a lot of his matches. But like, do we really need to dedicate 3 hours to celebrating him when that's already been done far more than any time has been spent talking about his many wrongdoings? So I think Flair. I think there's a quirky show to be done about Hulk Hogan, but it would have to come with the continued asterisks of, this guy. We're talking about the wrestler here, because with him, I do think that type of show is less common. I can't think of any others that I would just, immediately come to mind. I mean, again, sadly, wrestling is. I think it's hard to talk about modern wrestling without, encountering people you don't think very much of as people. Historical, I think it's impossible almost. So it's a hard thing, man. It's everyone's line's different, right? So I don't know. I hope that was a good answer. I'm not sure. Yes, Cody Gunther, the Sting Vader comp. Absolutely, dude. I'm with you completely. That sucks. We're fucked. Absolutely. Yeah, man. Not enough Roderick Strong matches. Absolutely. Cole Anderson is NXT champ in the agenda. I don't think he would want that, but yeah, it'd be fun. Okay, we have like 10 minutes. With the Punk and Terry DLC dropping in a few weeks, what's on tap for the 2K24 JHPGM mode? I actually want to do an arena. I would like to do a JHP arena, but I don't know. I don't know how to do it. I'm gonna try when I get time, which will probably be like next year. I want to do that, and then I actually might do some stuff. I don't know if I can kind of set up to stream, unfortunately, but I think we could have some fun if I could figure it out. So I may give it a whirl. We'll see, folks. But yeah, I enjoy the game when I play it. I think it's actually a really fun game. I don't have as much time as I'd like to. I'd spent a lot of time trying to unlock the Toko Dome, and I've genuinely used it like once since then. I've played it like once. These are the games we play. Quite literally, in that case. I'm definitely going to download Fight Forever again just to play a match as Sam Joe. I feel I owe him that, you know? Not like I gave him enough of my money at this point. What's the worst match you've seen live? I don't want to be rude, but I've been to some Brit Rest shows, so I've seen some Jimmy Havoc shit that keeps me up at night. One that comes to mind recently was Zack Knight and Great O'Khan. Oh my god, they had a stinker. God almighty. I've never seen York Hall reject a match like that before. That match fucking sucked. It was almost good, it was so bad. Terrible match. Maybe I'm being dramatic, but I think it's still going on. There's a couple for sure. The WrestleMania I was at, I don't think there was any like stinkers. I don't think. I could be wrong on that. The Guevara match, not really for me. No, this is a good call. Cody and Dustin versus the Shield. That's great. Great match. Is there a wrestler who you don't think is a great wrestler but like him off vibes? Oh yeah, almost all of my favorite wrestlers, bro. I think it's actually like lame that people think liking a wrestler is. I know you're not saying this, brother, but I just talking generally. I think it's lame when people think that like liking a wrestler is an indication that I think they're like the best wrestler in the world. You know, I think a bunch of wrestlers are just fine or good, but they just pop me. You know, and I think they're funny or entertaining or goofy or you know, sometimes you have a connection to wrestlers. I have a bunch of wrestlers I like that. I mean, I don't need. What a really ago. I've talked about some of them on this show, but yeah, man, totally. I think sometimes people obsess about like how it reflects on them, the wrestler they like, their star ratings and stuff. It's like, man, I just think it's kind of fun, you know. that's sometimes the depth of it for me. But I get that I'm the outlier in that regard, which is fine, totally fine. Yes, that Backlash Trios was very fun, actually. What wrestlers you want to do a Green Grappler on? Man, all the favorites, right? Like Roddy Strong, I would love to do. I really would like to do a Dolph episode. I'd love to do an Orton episode. Speaking of people where, again, complicated. Ray Jr., definitely. Some guys I think are too hard. Like I think Dragon and AJ are almost too hard to do on some level. But there's a couple. I mean, the one that I really like, I'm desperate to do down the line, and honestly, we're probably burning one of the matches for the episode. Is FTRs like that's what I really want to do, and I want to do that way down the line because I intend to do that show for many years. So we'll save that for when the book is closed, you know. Yeah, I think the FTR for sure. Old Cody matches, I love Rhett, Mania 27, the Battleground Tag, absolutely. Yes, there's a Ric Flair movie. It's being made by The Rock, I think, which is hilarious. Punk would be a great Green Grappler, definitely. But yes, this is the problem with the Bryan one, is narrowing the matches down. Is Shane banned from Green Grappler? Or would Alex quit if such a decision was made? He would quit, but I'm going to fight that too from now. But I'm only doing that if he lets me to the Usos. He's going to have to give me something to get a Shane O'Mac thing back. Alexa Bliss or Shane Grappler. That could be a good trade-off too. I definitely think I could do an Alexa Grappler. I don't think like she has many great matches. I think she has enough matches that are like fun. I could do it. You'd probably do. Let me try. What would be the acts though? NXT, Mean Girl, Alexa, and then like the rest. I guess so. You'd have NXT. Right, hold up. She has that cool TV match with Bailey. I'd have to investigate the tape for a second match. I don't think there's one exists, but I'll investigate. Act 2, you would probably do the Bailey match from San Jose and maybe the Ronda match where she like somehow manages to stay alive and awake after nearly dying. Probably that one. And then Act 3, you do a couple tags, right? You do that hilarious tag in Saudi where she decided she wanted to work hard. Fucking beast. Or maybe one of the Nicola tags. I could do this. We can do it. I will try to strike a deal at some juncture with Contrarian Alex. We'll do a double month one day. Don't hold me to this, I may forget it. We could do a double month where we do the Shane O'Mac, Alexa Bliss double shot. Something we maybe could do one day, folks. We'll see. All right. You can live stream directly from your console quite easily. How does this is not the time to ask. I'll look into it. Chuck was there for that match too. Great O'Con, God bless. Which WWE and AEW wrestler would you swap for their benefit? I'll do the lazy thing and say Ricky Starks because it just feels like it's time. Time to try. From WWE to AEW. It's so loaded and they don't have a brand split. I think Ricochet is such a boring answer, dude. There's got to be something better I can go. Okay, here's one. I'll throw there. I don't think she's as good as she used to be, but I think the AEW audience would see her as such a legend. I think Asuka would probably be used more prominently in AEW. Now, is that something I think she needs to go and do? No, she should do whatever she wants. I don't, but that's an example of someone that I think the AEW audience would see as like, that she's revered by the hardcore fan. And at this point in WWE, she's been there so long. She's obviously now more of a role player, which is fine. I think that's where she should be, to be honest with you. But there's just a random one that came to mind. Hopefully that pops someone, I don't know. The Nicholas and Braun thing, I think I was already miserable by that point. I barely remember it. Manny the Hooper has made allegations about me. Oh, he's full of shit. He's talking about ECW. Manny's never seen a single match from ECW. Just an absolute coward. Absolute coward, folks. Don't take him seriously. All right. Do you think Zack Sabre Jr. will ever get a push? Probably. I hope so. Thoughts on Joe Malenko? Only seen a couple matches. Seen Beast. Arn Anderson Green Grappler is needed. Yes. We almost had it over the line, and then Bob said it was too cliche. Fucking nerd. All right. Elimination Chamber. There you go. There's a ton of Alexa matches we can do here. We're rolling. Look at this. We're overwhelmed with suggestions. Bliss vs. Orton. There was a distraction episode back in the olden days on Fight where I agented a real Alexa and Randy match. And it was some of my finest work, I must say. It was not quite the match they had. Mark Henry, Green Grappler, that'd be sick. Unfortunately, we've done a couple of these key matches, I think. Actually, no, we could do that, yeah. We could do it. All right, I'm almost there. Chuck, I would swap Wardlow and Ilya. Shane Green Grappler needs 8 matches. Okay, fair. 2022 Rumble in the main event. Okay, that's fair. I thought you were being sincere for a moment. That was frightening. Becky Green Grappler, that'd be cool. The EO match where they had an exchange that Alexa had to specify they were not shooting each other. God, that was very dramatic, wasn't it? Like they had a brawl for all combination in the corner. What happened to the game I love, man? That just used to be a wrestling match. Anyway, folks, that's where we're going to wrap. All right, this has been fun. I apologize for the late notice. I apologize I couldn't stay longer. WrestlePurists Dynamite review. Did I like the show? I don't know. Maybe we'll find out. But Charlie has notes. It's going to be great. AO is probably not going to have notes, but he'll have a lot of fun suggesting that I have said things I have not, which is always great. Love doing the show with both Chuck and AO, so that will be coming up in legitimately 10 minutes over on WrestlePurists. Before you get out here tonight, like the video, subscribe, and as soon as I hit end stream, you got to wait a second, let the stream and wind down, and then you want to comment something. You could comment anything. You could comment, "Give me that Alexa Bliss Grin Grappler." You could comment, "AJ Styles is going to kill Cody Rhodes." You could comment, "Nice hat, Joe." You comment any of these things, or you could just say hello. I don't know. It's up to you, folks. It is what it is, but comment something. It helps us out. Speaking of helping us out, subscribe to Late Night Grim. We're on the road to 1,000. So do all of those things. I just asked for you to do like 10 things. Here is a very funny photo. Thumbnail. God bless. And with that, I say the thing that I always forget to say. Thanks for the house, folks. I'll see you over on the Purists. Puritans, I'll see you there. Thanks for the house.